Now, to evaluate this expression, this solved expression, since we have a square root at the denominator, we need to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the conjugate of the denominator. The conjugate of the denominator is obtained by simply changing the sign, which is this becomes x minus the square root of x squared minus 1. So this is what we're going to be using to multiply the top and the bottom. So our original expression becomes 1 over x plus the square root of x squared minus 1. So we are multiplying the top by x minus the square root of x squared minus 1 over, same thing, x minus the square root of x squared minus 1. So just from the top alone, when we multiply that, we get x minus x squared minus 1. From the bottom, we are going to be applying difference of two squares. Okay, let's just write what we have there. Okay, the x plus the x squared minus 1, then x minus the square root of x squared minus 1. From here, you would notice that both terms are actually the same, just the sign of plus and minus is what differentiates them. So we can apply the difference square formula, and then we can say the top remains the same, and then we can multiply the bottom by saying this becomes x squared, the first term, then the difference formula, the second term becomes the square root of x squared minus 1, all right, and squared. So this is what everything here becomes. So let's just break this down and we've gotten our answer. So this becomes, the top remains the same as usual, x squared minus 1, but at the bottom x squared remains, then the square root cancels out the square conveniently, and then we are left with minus open bracket x squared minus 1. All right, so let's break this down. We're almost done, and the top always remains the same, x squared minus 1. At the bottom, what we get is going to be x squared minus x squared. So that becomes x squared minus x squared. The minus opens up the bracket, and then we get a plus 1 at the bottom. So you see finally that this cancels this, and our final answer becomes x minus the square root of x squared minus 1 over 1. All right, so we can leave this as our final answer. Okay, so verify for yourself, and we'll see you in the very next one.